Good morning, everyone. We will now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama to protect and bless us as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku prayer, please stand. Takahara ni kamsumarimasu, kaburagi kaburami no tomochite, sumemi oya kamu izanagi no mikoto, tsukushi no imuka no tachi hana no odo no awagi hana ni misogi arai tamo utoki ni narimaseru, arai dono o kami tachi moro moro no magagoto tsumi kerare o harai tamae kiyome tamae tomao sukoto no yoshi o amatsu kami kunitsu kami yao yorosu no kami tachi tomo ni ame no fuchi koma no mimi uritatete kikoshi meseto kashikomi momaosu Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Kannagara tamachi haemase. Kannagara tamachi haemase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great will. Please be seated. Now receive group Johrei.
May the Meishu-sama bless you.
Johrei is now concluded. Now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. Honesty. Foolish are the ones who tell lies. They harm themselves with their own tongues. God recognizes sincere, honest people above all others and grants them boundless, limitless blessings. People may speak wealth and beauty and earthly possessions. However, whatever they have cannot compare with honesty, a truly priceless treasure. Many people profess faith in God, but just thinking so has little meaning. There must be some outward expression of one's faith in God. The demonstration of faith is very simple: trustworthiness. We must always speak the truth so that others will have no doubt about our words. Then they will associate with us without fear of any kind of trouble, knowing we have a fine and upright character. It is not really difficult to achieve such a reputation. We should avoid telling lies and committing any dishonest acts, and instead place the interests of others before our own by helping them out of their difficulties and showing them unfailing kindness. They will be made happier by our presence. In this way, we will certainly win their love and respect. While we must be trustworthy in our relationship with others, it is far more important to be worthy of God's trust, the most precious of all. With the trust of God, we can live full and happy lives.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning service of the Miroku Association. Today, I have a experience I'd like to share, which is from Japan. That's Adriana Toyama. She's from Saitama Prefecture, and this was shared on yesterday, July 15th. Adriana is from the city of Itanhaém, which is in São Paulo state, and has been living in Japan for 30 years. She became a member 11 years ago. However, her religious practice was limited to attending monthly services and receiving Johrei. She rarely performed other practices such as channeling Johrei, reading Meishu-sama's teachings, offering donations of gratitude, or guiding others to our church. In December 2020, last year, she was invited to take an online advanced course on our principles, promoted by the Religious Education Department of our church in Brazil, as she had never before gone deeper into the study of Meishu-sama's teachings. After the end of her classes in February of this year, she attended a course on Johrei and spirituality in a pilot project for Portuguese-speaking members living outside of Brazil. With this course, she could better understand the purification process and made the decision to carry out the basic practice more consistently and to experience the teachings of Meishu-sama in a more pragmatic way. In the same period, she experienced a purification process in her job. She was reassigned to a new section where one of the colleagues was always irritable and grumpy. He often got into friction with the company's directors and his immediate superiors, which created widespread unease. Although the conflict was not directly with her, she was emotionally shaken and at times cried with anguish over the situation. She created such a blockade that every time he spoke to her, panicking, losing concentration, and couldn't work effectively. She was no longer talking to him and ignored his presence. She talked to her minister, who guided her to reflect on what she needed to improve with that situation and how she could make him happy. She remembered that he takes care of his parents alone, who are sick, and perhaps this was one of the reasons for his constant irritation. At the company, he was always isolated and excluded because finding him grumpy, people didn't get close to him. Thus, she thought to develop empathy, put herself in his shoes, and began to understand the reason for his bitterness. So every time she saw him angry, she would ask Meishu-sama how she could make him happy and start praying for him. She tried to treat him with kindness and talk to him more. She used to do mitama migaki, which is the dedication to cleaning or polishing the soul. She did this mitama migaki in the workplace before the start of her shift, with the aim of generating light to purify and harmonize the environment. Gradually, things got better, and today their relationship is completely different. They exchange ideas about work and even share some laughter together. He changed his stance with colleagues and superiors, which completely changed the mood in the workplace. She learned how much she was unpleasant, judgmental, and alienated from people. Today, she sees that she still has many things to improve, but following the steps and teachings of Meishu-sama, she is confident that she will improve even more. By reading the divine writings of Meishu-sama's teachings, taking the online courses on Johrei and our principles, and following her minister's guidance, made her realize the depth of our faith and movement. Adriana feels deep gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for having her feelings transformed and for having found a purpose for her life, to be useful to the work of salvation and realization of paradise on earth. So this was a very nice experience from Adriana Toyama from Saitama, Japan. We probably have heard this. When you point fingers to someone, there are three fingers pointing at you, and one is the worst of all. The thumb is pointing to God, so not to be judgmental and being critical of others. So by studying this faith experience today, I remember something that happened. There was this person coming to the Johrei Center who had this grumpy face. Every time he came with this grumpy face. So one day, while giving Johrei to him, I thought, you know what? I'm going to take my cell phone from my pocket because he had his eyes closed, and I will take a picture of him to show him, for him to realize, look, do you think this is going to help us to attract more people? If others will come here, right? And then you have this grumpy face. At least, if you have a more smiling, charismatic look, that helps. You don't have to do much, but just that will be a big help. So I thought about that, but I give up. I didn't do what I thought. I said, well, no, that's okay. Then, few months later, we had a monthly service. After the service, we had Johrei exchange. And at that time, my daughter was still living with us here in the United States. Now she lives in Brazil. So I asked her to, hey, can you take pictures of us giving Jory after the service? I want to put this in, posted in our website and Facebook page. I said, sure. So she took many pictures. When I looked at my own picture, giving Johrei, I had such a grumpy look. I said, my goodness, why, what could I be thinking while I was giving, why I had such a grumpy expression? So then I remember, yes, so you thought of taking the picture of the fellow who was coming to the center to let him know how grumpy he was, and then not realizing my own face. So that was a good lesson for me to try to, of course, not to judge and to look at myself. How can I improve myself? So this experience today reminded of that, so I want to share that with you. Want to wish you a most wonderful day. Thank you very much.
This brings to a conclusion of our morning service. Thank you everyone for joining us and have a blessed day.